Hi everyone, this is David, and welcome to week 5 of Writing 394, Advanced Business Writing. Week 5, where the action is. Sorry, could not resist the cliche. What I mean to say is that it is in week 5 that you actually begin writing your final project for this course. That's right, Project 5 begins in week 5. The persuasive, research-based memo to a decision maker. So this week we're going to be writing what is called the front matter of your report. In addition, this week is also the time when you are going to get started in earnest on your primary research, which is an central component for this paper. So let's take a look, if we would like, here at Week 5 Overview. Here we go. Week 5 Overview, you will notice, is really a long piece describing primary research and why primary research is important in a persuasive memo to a decision maker. Now, we've already been talking about primary research for the past 2 weeks. You've examined its use in other sample papers. Last week you had a thread defining it. This week you actually do it. So get out those surveys, the recorders for the interview, and let's get started. Because the very next thing that you see here in the resources to peruse have to do with best practices and writing interview protocols and how to conduct an interview. Now remember, you're not going to be doing formal interviews. You're just going to be talking to people. But you want to make sure that you ask everyone the same question so that your results are more valid. That's the primary thing to keep in mind. Also, the person you're interviewing should know that you're working on a research project for a class and that you're going to use what you talk about in your paper more than likely. You can certainly promise them anonymity. You can say, I won't use your name. And that is fine as well. That's basically what you have to keep in mind. The next one here is also about interviews, but also surveys and focus groups. Focus groups is simply where you get a group of people, beginning 2, 3, 4, 5 together, and you ask them all together the same questions and allow them to discuss those questions. Same protocol applies. You want to make sure that they all hear the same questions. You want to make sure that they all have given their permission for you to use the research in your report. The last video is how to find a DOI through crossref.org. As you've probably noticed, often in your research in the library, there will not be a DOI. And what do you do then? Well, one of the things you can do is to use crossref.org and actually find the DOI and use it and not have to worry about anything else. Now, this week you have 2 sample papers to read and 1 video to watch. The first sample paper here for Project 5 is a report called Evening Shades. Shades, it's about a place that sells sunglasses. Evening Shades, get it? Then I've made a video analyzing Evening Shades so that you can have the paper in one hand and be watching the video and kind of follow along to make sure that you understand the structure of this final report, and also something about what goes into each component, how to write each component of the final report. And just to back things up, you also have a second sample paper. It's about employee retention, and you will see how both papers, Evening Shades and Employee Retention, have the same structure, especially when it comes to its front matter. So you're also going to be discussing that second sample paper, employee retention, in your discussion board this week. Okay, preparing the front matter for your final project. You are going to write 4 elements of your paper this week. And those elements appear here in the same order in which they're going to appear in your final report. In other words, on the very top of your final report, the first thing that a reader would see would be the transmittal letter. The second thing a reader would see would be the cover page, or sometimes called the title page. The third thing would be a table of contents, and the fourth thing, an executive summary, in that order. So let's talk a little bit about table of contents. You're saying to yourself, how can I write a table of contents if I don't know the page numbers? That's fine. Just put in fake page numbers or double X. I don't think you'll need triple X. Single X or double X for page numbers. And then you might also ask the same question for your executive summary. How can I summarize something that I have not written? Very good question. You basically did a summary in the memo from last week, so you can draw upon that. Also, I would say, see this summary as a rough draft. Now, you already know, or you will know, by having looked at Evening Shades, the sample report for Project 5, and Employee Retention, the second sample report for Project 5. You will already know what the major divisions of this report are. So, for the table of contents and for the executive summary, consider them rough drafts. The main thing that I'm looking for is that you now know what the major sections of the report are. In other words, what subtitles or subheadings you're going to use. And you also know the order in which those sections are going to appear. That's the main thing that I'm looking for in this rough draft of the table of contents and the executive summary. To help you with the executive summary, there's a video here by Andy Cavanaugh that takes you through a sample executive summary. And then the last thing you'll be dealing with this week are 2 discussion boards. In the first discussion board, you're going to answer some questions about the second sample paper, the employee retention paper. And then in the second discussion board, you're going to be actually posting your front matter for review. And I'll be giving you feedback on that front matter. So, week 5, you're getting started. Remember, the final draft of this final report is not due until week 8. So we're going to spend week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8 on doing nothing but writing this final report. Be sure to also start this week on your primary research. Don't put off this primary research. It is a critical part of your overall paper, and it needs to be done well. Okay, with that, I will leave you, and I hope that you have a great week 5, and I will see you on the discussion boards.